Welcome back to Swaiba Podcast, the 2022 Election Kenya series. This is the second bit of our interview with Anita Soina, a 22-year-old female leader and a climate justice champion. Anita wears very many hats in leadership. Now, if you haven't, please listen to the first bit of this. The link is in the description. Anita and I spoke about the climate justice agenda. This series was about documenting how young women experience elections, and Anita shares with us her experience vying for office as a young woman leader passionate about climate justice. Now, I think that my last question is for us to build up to what you're doing with COP, but also communities.
Yeah.
How, especially COP, so that the voices that you say you talk about in terms of lived experiences are heard. What are the entry points of engagements?
First of all, I'd say it starts with taking the right people to COP.
Yeah, but also let's we are assuming everyone knows what COP is. So first break it down for us. What's COP?
COP
How does it happen?
is a climate change conference. It's called Conference of Parties.
Yes.
Where countries meet to discuss on way forward on climate. Those who have commitments to make commitments. And this year we're going to have the 27th one. So we've had COP 1.
And now we're at
COP 27.
Yeah.
And we are hoping not to get at COP 28 before the commitments of COP 25 are met.
Yes.
Exactly. So for this COP 27, I think the biggest discussion, which was actually approved, is loss and damage. We are now experiencing loss and damage caused by climate change. And we are also following up on financing loss and damage. We need to get climate financing from the responsible countries. And this is not blame game. It's not really like we're saying Africa does not have, it's not like we are poor as Africa, but we need support. We need technological support.
Yes.
We need financial support, and also at least to correct the mess that we did not really create. Because even if we say that Africa contributes less than 4%, you realize that this, for us to get to that percentage, it is the West that brought the culture of fossil fuels to Africa.
For production and industrialization.
So clearly, even that 3%, we really may not be contributing.
It's not ours.
It's not ours.
It's not ours.
It's not ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I say we need is at least a serious team of African delegates at COP27. Why I said it starts with taking the right people to COP. It may seem like a small thing, but we've attended conferences, mostly as climate advocates working in the NGO sector or volunteering for NGOs. We get observer badges. The observer badge does not allow you to get to very many important rooms, which is okay. But we are asking that African leaders, especially Kenya, I'm hoping to see change with our new president, as he speaks a lot about climate change.
Climate change, yes.
We cannot be in Scotland for COP26 and almost half of the Kenyan delegation is in London for shopping. And you have a badge that is written...
I remember seeing those pictures.
It's a badge that you can.
Unfortunately, I have friends that I know.
It's a badge. It's a badge that gives you access to the very important rooms where countries are.
So, are you saying that as a country we have our priorities wrong in terms of the people who represent our agenda?
Exactly, and it's not only COP. It's not only climate conversations, but every other conferences. Let us at least take people who understand. We better reduce the number, because we can't be having the largest delegation in Africa or the second largest delegation you can't see people in the room. It feels bad for someone to come and ask me with my observer badge on day 6 of COP about where the plenary rooms are, about. No, it doesn't make sense. And most of them even get financed. What I'd say is, at least in the government delegation, I really hope that they involve these grassroots leaders, so that we go out there as youth, as women, as men, as everybody, go out there to seek opportunities. Remember, we already have so much ideas and so many solutions that we are trying to implement on ground. We need resources. In that COP, or those conferences, there are so many networks. Give us a chance to go get the networks so that we do not have to
And you're
go
actually working
to
with
write
communities
proposals.
directly.
Yeah, so that we don't have to write proposals to government every day that, please help us with 50,000. I need to plant trees. Please help me 10,000. I need to establish a nursery.
Yeah.
When we can get the networks,
it's an avenue
tell
of,
our
yeah.
stories
Mhm.
and get the support. I mean, if it is an oceans conference, I intend to see the government go to Lamu, for example, pick that mama who's doing something on sustainable catching of octopus. Let them go and show their stories, even help them film their stories. Let them go and get, so that we are dealing with our problems locally. And another thing that also should be done is when we get, for example, there's been a push and pull on what is Kenya's actual forest cover. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are
yeah,
talking
it's-
about
it's-
climate
it's-
financing. Clearly, we need
we have
support.
data.
We need support to make sure that the data that we have is correct. We need support to make sure that we have enough seedlings, because there was a time we were told that if today as a country we decide to plant all the seedlings that we have and take care of them, we still will not get a 10% forest cover.
I didn't know that.
Meaning that we need
But-
to support people to
Actually.
to have seedlings.
Yeah.
We need to support such kind of things. So if we are telling our forest cover as a country, I feel like there's so much need to be honest if we really need support. If I am hungry today and I need 100 shillings, I will not come to you and tell you I need 20 shillings.
first.
I have to be honest that I've not eaten from morning. So I think there's need for us to really be to have the real data, because the things that we see, the destruction of trees and forests versus the planting, it doesn't match up. I'm planting a seedling, you're destroying a mature
5
tree,
trees, yeah.
and a lot of them at the same time. And
Yeah.
you want to tell me that we are at 10% forest cover? To me, it doesn't make sense. So I feel like there's a need for us as African leaders. That is not being vulnerable. It is being honest so that we get support to what we do. And lastly, before we go to other countries to ask for help, we really need to look at our actions in our own country. The issue of forest cover is not something that even if we are given the climate financing and we don't really
Have structures.
it will not work. And we were discussing this with my friends, and we said that if we are not keen in Africa, the next big problem and fight will be on climate financing. So there is a need to educate our leaders and the people who will be handling the finances that we are asking.
Is it okay to ask this question?
Yeah.
Because listening to you in terms of how efficient you are in articulating issues.
Yeah.
And this is not, orchestrating separatists activism.
Yeah.
Is how do we prepare young women like you,
Yeah.
but also our older women in places is because climate change does not choose whether you're in the urban area or in the rural
it
area.
doesn't, yeah.
How do we make sure that young women's or women's climate justice movements are stronger? Because listening to you, I'm thinking we actually have a problem at hand, and none of us are paying attention. We pay attention to it because we think of food security, but not at the root cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it starts. I love to I love to point at the media so much.
Yeah.
Because I believe the media shapes the society.
This is true.
Or
at least the narrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look at right now, for example, if I go on the internet, maybe I'd go and check some blogs so that what are they talking about? Because even the mainstream media is slowly fading away.
This is true.
People are getting to new things coming up. You see podcasts.
The reliance
just came
on
up
community journalism
and
and
other things.
citizen journalism.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a need for the media to also take climate conversation seriously. Here in Africa, if you tune in to BBC Today or CNN the whole day, you'll realize that climate is being talked about frequently.
Yeah.
How can we start as
prioritizing it
how can we
as a news
prioritize
item?
that it's not just by the way we prioritize politics 24/7 when it's the political season? Why don't we also tell these climate stories? And for us to also support women movement, it's by understanding that these women are actually, most people that I know who are in this space don't get supported resource wise. Even youths, when it's time to look for volunteers, then we are always present. But when it comes to the money-making part of conversation,
You're left out.
we
We are left
exclude
out.
them out. We push them away. So it's going to be hard because if you want to maintain those in the climate and environmental space and bring more people on board, they also need to know what they are benefiting from it. from the green financing. If we are going to talk, for
So
example,
we need to
about
break it
energy.
down in accessible
Yes,
language for them
yes,
to understand
yes.
why is this a crisis.
Yeah, there are
How
people
does it
who are doing
affect
so
us?
many things on clean energy, and they don't even know that it falls under clean energy,
Especially even in
under
terms of
SDG
businesses.
7,
Yeah.
and money is coming in to support SDG 7, and they are not getting the money. They are not getting the financial bit of it. It becomes a problem. So there's a need
a
to
gap
also bring them
between-
on the table when it comes to enjoying the fruits of what they're actually
doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this conversation, winding up, this conversation brings us into the hierarchies of financing, but also politics.
Yeah.
Also the persistence of locking young women and generally youth and women out of decision making tables.
Spaces, yeah.
But we don't see how that affects our lives
Yeah.
as a population.
Yeah.
I think my last question, Anita, because I think we need to be back here for sure, because I think we would love to talk to you after COP27.
Yeah.
And all the best. And let us know how we can support you.
Yeah.
But my question is, as a climate justice activist, as a young, do you like becoming a politician or a leader?
I mean,
Or both?
Yeah, both is okay.
What's the future? What's the future in your place as a leader? Because I know you might be, a bit, jaded, but know that you're living this leadership. What's the future looking like?
Absolutely. I really understand the importance and the roles that leadership will play in shaping the climate conversation. So for me, I'm not really going to, as much as right now I really feel so low about it, does not mean I'm going to stop at it. Just that maybe I may not get into an elective
Position.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe if things change, but I will keep right now, like I said, right now my focus after losing the seat is still to take the conversation to sink deep into the spaces of power. And this is not only in the political space, but even also in the in different companies, in different mine is to see that everybody is on board, no one is left behind. And if we are, as advocates, we go out there, we use our platforms to ask the countries responsible to at least help us in financing loss and damage. But then you ask yourself, if the money comes, and for example, the national government has really shown its commitments towards climate action. It is so loud, we've seen. If the money comes down, for example, let's say to the county governments, and maybe
Will it trickle
if
down
one day we find climate financing in the CDF, for example, will they really see the urgency to use the money appropriately? So there is a need to make the leaders who are elected by the people to also become environmentally conscious. Just because we were not elected as environmentally conscious people, then we can turn those who are elected to become environmentally conscious. That is one thing that I'm focusing on. And another thing is I really looking forward to expanding my capacity, of course, through capacity building that maybe I will get from other organizations and support. I want to now focus on telling climate stories. I mean, I studied communication. I love to tell stories. I love sitting in front of cameras, and I am now passionate about climate. How can I bring the two together? Which is also practicing my career to bring more people to tell more stories so that we can highlight. Some of us are advantaged. We have mobile phones, and our work on social media has impacted so many people. I have my Facebook page is full of so many people who love my conservation work.
Yeah.
So now, how am I going to use my platform to spotlight and harden and tell stories of great climate heroes whose stories can also inspire us more, and also for them to get support? I am thinking of how I will get support for the grassroots climate leaders.
What I like about Anita is that she does not think about herself or platform herself as a leader alone, or who is standing alone. And that is excellent. Let us know how we can support you. And we're really thankful that you could find time, because I know you're really busy. Thank you for finding the time. But I think for us as Swaiba, we also have found the challenge of
when we say women, are we realizing how, the component about climate justice or environmental justice? So thank you for educating. I've learned a lot,
I
a
really
lot myself.
appreciate, yeah.
And seriously, we do hope to have you back. And I am sure, as jaded as you are,
Yeah.
we're going to see your leadership lights just shine brighter.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been Swaiba with an exciting, very knowledgeable young woman who is a leader in climate justice, but also politics, and breaks down the governance processes, but also where do women and young women fall in terms of, climate justice conversations, and how can we mainstream this as an issue, both as communities, but also media. This has been the Audible African Woman Kenya election series, and we are thankful for your comments and feedback. Asante sana. We'll see you in the next episode.